face to face on ChannelOne TV. Umaru Sandamado is my name. My guest, Dr. K K Sarpong. Doc, why Kennedy Agyapong for flag bearer?
I think maybe now you've come home to look at the substantive issue. Thank you very much.
We're building the foundation.
Yeah, well.
The fundamentals were weak, so we're trying to fix them.
The foundation has been laid for far too long. Anyway, when we lost the elections, sitting in this room, my position was that, well, parties progress forward, progress, and that kind of thing. So we shouldn't throw our hands in the air. We shouldn't say that everything was lost. We should try and rebuild. We should try and come out of the hole where we had sunk so deep. And so I was reflecting myself. So who will even be the next flag bearer? In my own view, the performance was so bad that definitely I wasn't thinking of repeating the same flag bearer. But I'm one individual. So if nobody came forward and only him, then he'll still go unopposed. But that would mean then the party feels that we can't do anything, it's the same person. So we must move. But fortunately, I hadn't thought of Agyapong or Brian or the people who came up. I even thought Dr. Agyapong was coming, who I felt could be a good candidate. I was in my room here when Kennedy walked in with a friend to announce me that he wanted to run again and that he needed my support. You know, I don't mix decisions lightly. If you manage companies to that level, you notice that you need to assemble your data, your thoughts, and then before you make a decision, look at what you call your SWOT analysis, your pluses and your minuses. So when he came, my first reaction was, well, good to hear from you. It's good at least we have somebody who is still interested in lifting the party up. But can I see you after a week when I have had a reflection? So you know my summer hat there, I used to sit there in the morning, reflect. Where are we? How did we get here? And one thing which was quite clear was that many of the youth deserted us. Our own party youth deserted us. What reason? Because our 8-year rule did not give them jobs. And that was a critical thing. And that is what I seem to be hearing anywhere I went, like church, marriages, christening, you know, parties, whatever events, funerals, people would then be talking. The youth, chief, so then that stuck in my head. Then also there was the issue of corruption, perception of corruption being tagged on all of us. So that was also another point. Then under the circumstance, who will be able to unite our party, which appeared to have been fragmented because of the events leading to the primaries, the selection of the flag bearer. Alan Martin left, and many people, some people followed him, and many of those people who didn't vote possibly were Alan Martin followers, as well as people who were disgruntled with the economy. So I was making all these connections, these factors, analyzing them. So when I had assembled all the parameters, then I tried to look at how that gentleman who came to see me, how he fitted into that. Then I was vindicated.
It was a perfect fit.
Yeah, it was a perfect fit. You see, we needed somebody who would move the base of the party for people to go in and vote. Our parliamentary seats had been taken away from us. Even traditional seats, we had lost them. We had lost them. So how do we get these things back? And if you I have a boy who analyzed the electoral results for me, parliamentary seats. Many of them, 100 votes, 200 votes, 300 votes. And then you see a large number of voters, registered voters, who didn't vote. If they had voted, presumably, in a stronghold, would have wiped the 200. So we needed somebody who would be able to ginger the base for them to vote. And to me, one thing which went to Kennedy, went for him, was the fact that he was a man of the moment. He was the people's, the youth, their choice. The grassroots, their choice. And these are the grassroots who didn't go to vote. They should go and vote now. And I thought that he would be able to move the base, to bring them from wherever they are hiding. Because he's the man, he's got that charisma. They love him, they follow him. You see, in political leadership, it's the momentum. Who that moment is the one that everybody will look up to.
But you see, when you look at the MPP's tradition, would he fit properly as the leader of the MPP based on everything you know about your party?
You ask me, I'm giving you the parameters.
And he's the best fit?
I've given you just one. Being a man of the moment,
Yeah.
being the one with the charisma to move.
I've heard opponents of his say, oh, the NDC people like him, which means that he's the one that they can defeat. So why go for Kennedy Agyapong when the NDC people also are asking you to vote for
I
him?
hear contrary views from the same NDC people you talk to. They are concerned. You talk to them closely. Who thought President Trump would win the election in the US? So here, we are talking about somebody who will be able to move the base. And the base will follow him because he's the one they believe can provide them with jobs, because he's demonstrated with his own investments, trying to create jobs for people. And in his rounds, this even after I had made my decision, I follow his rounds. He has a clear path as to what he can do in each locality to create jobs.
How do you handle his speech?
Which speech?
His utterances?
Well, even today I was on Peace FM, and they were talking about him insulting people, doing that. There are two sides to the speech. When you forcibly make the point, or you are so passionate about something, it depends on how you express it, to the extent that people believe that you are being too abrasive or something. And when maybe through this thing, you just insult people. But we need to pause and ask a question. You, Omar is sitting here. Will he come and insult you?
I interviewed him for 1 hour. He did not insult me.
Definitely. So he may be provoked. But that is about managing his temperament, which people like me have succeeded in 6 months to manage.
But the fact that we are even using the phrase managing temperament means it's a problem that you have to constantly be managing. It's like an illness.
But people learn. You see, and you're a Muslim in the Bible, but I'm sure there will be a version in the Quran which you, mind you, I'm a theologian.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yes. I say, when I was young, I used to do things that the young people do.
But now I'm old.
I'm old. I do things that the older people do.
So
in the same way, when I wasn't vying for president, I could say anything. But now that I'm vying for...
Now that I'm vying, I'll do cosmetology, where I'll put pancake on the thing, the ponds on my, and look like I'm nice when I'm not. That's fake.
One thing I did was to summarize his, as an accountant, you have a balance sheet, the plus and the liabilities, the minuses.
Debit and credit.
Yes. So I did a summary. And on balance, to me, his pluses were
higher.
And I'm saying that if his problem, the only problem that people see is about his speech, for me, we can manage that so that he can do the good things in him for the benefit of the country.
So you end
have you heard that he's been tagged with any corruption in this country?
Well, I haven't seen.
Yes.
I've seen him tagged as a no-nonsense man.
As a no-nonsense
and an insulter general.
Well, that's your version. Sometimes, if he is insulting people, that's one side. But have we looked at the totality of his personality? When I got closer to him, I saw how humble he is.
They say he's a braggart. He brags a lot.
Yeah,
that he has given money to people, you'll be saying.
So when you are a young man...
They say if Kennedy give you money, he'll do and tell everybody that has given you money.
Oh, well, don't go and provoke him.
But that's a problem. If you are...
I was just making the point that now he must be behaving presidential. And I think the last 6 months, let us be honest, have you heard anything about him which is negative?
Yeah, but is that not pretense because he's looking
it's
for
not
the
pretense.
Office?
It's not because
let me do
every president has got advisors. From President Putin down to President Mama here. Every president has got advisors. And your turnout is as good as your advisors. And I think that he, with the humility that he has to select people, come to somebody like me in humility to ask for help, I'll be eager. And I tell him, he spent about 2 hours with me here yesterday, visiting with his wife, which was very nice. It was a social visit.
So does it mean he has refined, or he's always been that kind of person, but a different picture was painted?
Yeah, but whatever he is, don't judge him on one variable. Judge him on the totality of the variables.
What about on the variable of the claim from the Baumia campaign that Baumia is the most marketed, and so he's the most, the person you would expect the Ghanaians to vote for, because you are not going to bring a new guy and start selling him again when you already have someone who's been sold for 16 years?
Please,
How do you respond to that?
16 years?
Yes. And
you got 4.6 million votes. Losing 2.2 million from Akufo-Addo's votes. For me, that mathematics alone is simple. And then the question you ask is that what will he do to rebrand himself to redeem the 2.2 million votes? I'm asking you.
I don't know, maybe the performance of this government may give him an upper hand. Maybe people would finally forget that.
People will want to know your programs. Kennedy says jobs, jobs, jobs. And I think the youth, it resonates with them. Job, job. And one thing, apart from he not being corruptible, he speaks the truth. And I have, as a young man, you notice in this country, when you are young and you are confident, like you yourself,
they say you are too known.
You're too known, you are arrogant. I suffered that fate as a young accountant. About 28 years, chief accountant, Food Distribution Corporation. That time it was the corporation of the moment.
Managing old people.
Managing old people. Every statement.
Umbuadie.
But I was brought up properly by the Seventh-day Adventists. But because I'll be confident to tell my boss, this is not right. At the meeting, some people will not understand. In management, leadership is dialogue. I think Kennedy has what it takes to climb the high office. His rough edges can be managed.
Dr. K K Sarpong, the theologian, politician, businessman, retiree. Thank you for speaking to us on Facebook.
Mary, it's been a pleasure being on your show. I hope to meet you again.
I'm honored.
When we have won, and then we'll be examining what next.
Thank you so much, and wish you all the best.
All right.
And that's by way of Face to Face today on Channel One Television. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu.